two new IPs that Miyamoto is working on, Project Giant Robot and Project Guard. The two of these looked pretty interesting to me at the time, but I knew close to nothing about them at the time of their initial announcements. But at the same time, it was revealed that a new Star Fox game, now labeled Star Fox Zero, was in development. Miyamoto's Project Guard eventually evolved into the game known as Star Fox Guard, bundled with Star Fox Zero. Admittedly, I was skeptical with the game looking extremely repetitive at the time. I was worried that I wouldn't enjoy it honestly. That begs the question, did I have fun with my time with it? Well, yes, I did. The story goes like this. Slippy's Uncle Grippy is in charge of a metal mining site. This old toad cannot keep his base under control as he keeps getting attacked by robots. Again and again and again. So with Slippy's super inventive camera creating skills, Uncle Grip's got a pretty snazzy security system on his hands now. But wait, let's pause for a sec. I have a confession. I just need to make it known that I am so terrified of frogs and toads alike. Literally, I'm terrified. But since this is just Slippy Toad and his uncle, I'm gonna let this one slide. Okay, moving on. Each level is different in its own unique way. However, that really isn't the case in the beginning. The first few missions in Corneria seemed a bit like a cakewalk. I felt like it was trying to hold your hand the majority of the way through. But as I played each level, it eased me in little by little. It's like a send-off in a way, forcing you to think strategically with the skills you've learned. As you progress through each planet, more things happen. That's where you apply the basics of multitasking you learned into the game. That's a super important aspect of Star Fox Guard. Not so much in the fact that you're doing multiple things at once, but you've got to watch those 12 security cameras on the gamepad like a hawk. Just because I mentioned how the beginning is somewhat simple, do not let that fool you. There's plenty of challenge within the game. In fact, you've only seen the Nintendo Direct footage up until this point. Don't make that small gameplay clip you saw a long while ago make you think that this game has no length, or is bad, or has no depth. Because let me tell you, it really does. I wasn't fully aware there was so much content for as limited as the worlds get. That's not to say they're boring though, each planet has a unique environment. In fact, the majority of the planets are based off of Star Fox Zero, which I thought was a nice touch. To me, that is truly what defines the game as a spin-off, but also as a companion game. It's like they're blended together, as one story just branches off of the other. For example, Slippy Toad references being in Star Fox Zero as he comes to help you for the first time you're training, by flying into the base location with the entire squadron. Just by playing it, you'll know it's connected. And I know that's a minor detail, but I really did appreciate that. Something I wasn't really pro for though, is the way the game is set up. See, each planet is separated into its own set of levels, kind of like each world is in a new Super Mario Bros. Game. That's perfectly fine, and I do like that type of setup. Each world is separated into categories A, B, and C, but part of me doesn't know why it's necessary to split the levels into their own groups, if they're all similar in the same environment. Does that affect the gameplay at all though? No, not really at all. Each section is just a different map layout. It was just worth noting that I thought it was wonky at times. I guess maybe because in each section of levels there are extra missions with the same level number that can be unlocked, it corresponds better in a way? I'm not so sure. But my closest assumption would be that and the fact that the map layouts are different between each section. But anyway, let me tell you one thing that I love about this game. There's such a variety in the robots you attack. These aren't the same type of bots that do similar things though. Upon approaching each world, it's likely that you will notice more and more enemies being introduced. Each robot has its own asset. To start out this explanation, there are robots that are split into two groups, the Chaos class and the Combat class. If any of the Combat class bots reach the central tower in the middle of each map, then it's considered a failed mission. The Chaos class though, well, they're just there to drive you crazy by screwing with your cameras. The blue orbs present on the middle screen represent them. Once you defeat all the Combat class bots and have each orb lit up, then you can advance. There's so many types of enemies though. One of the main opposers is known as a hi-ho. They walk really slow and explode when they get near your central tower. Most of the time though, these little guys can't even get past that first camera. Other enemies down the line include disruptors, which are walking satellites that walk up to your camera and disrupt it. And also Clucktron. This thing is super annoying. Most of the ones in the Chaos class are, but like I said, they're just there to mess with you. This birdbot takes your camera if you don't destroy it in time and basically moves it wherever it wants to go. It's a nice variety within both classes. You have Big G, a giant robo-gorilla, and other mechanized units in the Combat class. If we're talking about enemies, I must bring this up. In Star Fox Guard, there are only a few major boss battles. The footage you see right now is from the first couple of them. These opposers are literally what make the game for me. They're that amazing. Really. For what is offered in these boss fights, it's astounding to me just how much is incorporated within just the 12 security cameras. On the gamepad, you have each security device locked and loaded with infinite laser missiles to take down foes. This is a great tool for quickly switching views to shoot at enemies such as bosses from a different angle. In fact, it's the sole reason the game works. It helps to defeat these guys too if you have camera upgrades, but I'll get to that in a sec. These two bosses though, man oh man, I wanted more of them. I wanted so many more. There was just some weird rush I had while playing against them. Literally all I was doing was shooting missiles from security cameras, but I never thought that could be so fun. But the bosses are massive, and for me, I had a surprisingly amazing time in battle. Anyway, the security cameras, they're basically the essence of the game. On the TV you have 13 screens. The 12 outer cameras are security camera views, and the giant one in the center represents the camera you're viewing from. Okay, back to camera upgrades. You're able to unlock these by simply playing through the game. At the end of each mission, assuming you win, there's a cute little frog named Rebot that hops around and collects the medals of fallen enemies. The more of those you collect, the higher your rank will be. Ranking up can give your base some pretty cool abilities. Some of these include a camera upgrade that slows down time so you can shoot down an enemy quicker. Another type of camera can shoot with a wide blast to take out more than one enemy at a time. But a personal favorite of mine would have to be an upgrade that freezes enemies in ice, so that other cameras can attack from a different angle. This one really comes in handy when enemies are getting too close to the central tower. There are more camera upgrades and extra missions that can be unlocked by your rank, but I'll let you discover the rest for yourself. And of course, how could I talk about this game without mentioning amiibo? If you're one of the luckier people to have gotten a Fox or Falco amiibo on your hands, they can each be used once per day in the game. Whenever they're skinned, you can have the entire Star Fox squad on call for any mission you want if you feel like you're going to lose or feel overwhelmed with the amount of enemies on the map. What's really cool about that though is that they just do a flyby and blow pretty much everything at the base up. That's pretty cool, you gotta admit. You go Star Fox team, you go. Overall though, how is Star Fox Guard? I think you've at least gotten the idea that I like the game, but really dude, I love this game. It blew my mind. I went in thinking I wouldn't enjoy it all that much, just like with Star Fox Zero. But man oh man, Miyamoto, you did it again. As crazy as this may sound, I've enjoyed my time with Star Fox Guard just as much as Star Fox Zero. If not, then maybe even a little more. There's some weird charm I didn't expect to find. The levels are fun, there's extra missions, the upgrades for the cameras are nice, there's even a mode called My Squad. Making a squad allows you to upload your enemy attack online so other people can attack your invasion, and vice versa. Just as a side note, this game is basically considered the lesser of the two games. Just for a quick comparison, think of Star Fox Zero as the main course meal and Star Fox Guard as a side dish. In this case, I feel like the little side dish game has more to offer than the actual main game. I thought I would just make that clear. For real though, the game is packed with content. You can either purchase the game separately on the eShop for $15 or buy it in the bundle with Star Fox Zero. Honestly, either way you're getting a steal. This game is amazing for what it is. Trust me, it isn't perfect, but dang, it is a pretty great game. I will say, a few more boss fights would have been great, Nintendo. Make that DLC and I would buy that in a second. I want to thank all of you so very much for watching my review of Star Fox Guard. Will you be picking up the game? Let me know down below in the comments and I will talk to you next time.